Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, broadcast 23. A disturbance on San Gabriel Avenue in Southgate. That's all. Rosenquist.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is a little scene that might occur in any home. Mr. Atkins, head of the family, is just completing his evening reading of the newspaper. Mrs. Atkins is sitting nearby. Let's listen in.
Anything of interest in the paper tonight, dear?
Well, for one thing, there are about 5 big ads on gasoline. You know, gasoline ads often amuse me. Now, look at this one. The company has changed its story about 4 times in the last 2 months.
It may amuse you, but not some people. Just how in the world can anyone reach a decision about which gasoline to use? You know, it's impossible for them all to be the best.
Well, we don't have to worry about that. I started using this Rio Grande Cracked when I first saw the statement about police cars and fire engines using it. You remember, Cracked is used by more police cars, fire engines, and ambulances in Southern California and Arizona than all other brands combined.
That's a pretty powerful statement.
It certainly is. And that's the reason I switched to Rio Grande Cracked. I figured that general claims were so much advertising. But a statement like that had to be backed up or they wouldn't dare say it.
And we're sure you'll learn to depend upon Cracked. Try a tank full tomorrow. Sold by independent dealers in your neighborhood. And now it is with great pleasure that we introduce Chief of Detectives Joseph Taylor of the Los Angeles Police Department, who has brought as his guest a prominent Southern California peace officer, whom he will introduce. Chief Taylor.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that after you have listened to tonight's Calling All Cars broadcast, you will agree with me that not all the glory for the solution of major crimes is confined to metropolitan police departments. Quite often, the police and detective work performed by officers attached to suburban departments is noteworthy from the standpoint of sound reasoning and clever deductive ability. This has never more forcefully demonstrated than in the case around which tonight's story is built. Too much credit cannot be given to Chief Mueller of Southgate and the men of his command who brought this case to a successful solution. I take great pleasure in introducing to you Chief Eugene Muller of the Southgate Police Department.
Thank you, Chief Taylor. I feel highly honored to be your guest tonight and to be able to witness the broadcast of the dramatization of the first murder ever to occur in Southgate. A murder which, fortunately, my men were able to solve. In 1932, I was sent to Southgate on a 2 years leave of absence from the Pasadena Police Department, where I was Assistant Superintendent of Criminal Identification. When I took over my new duties in Southgate 2 years ago, I found a unique policing problem to be solved. The town is located almost midway between the harbor and the metropolitan center. It is transversed by several main north and south boulevards to the waterfront, and also by several through highways from the east to the west. Southgate, being one of the many cities in the vast network served by the Los Angeles Police Radio Station, KGPL, I wish to pay tribute to the Los Angeles Police Department and to Chief Davis for the marvelous cooperation afforded the smaller suburban departments. In a town of small homes such as Southgate is, I did not anticipate much homemade crime, so to speak. But I did expect a lot of work cooperating with the sheriff's office and the Los Angeles and Long Beach police departments in catching fleeing criminals. In this, I was not disappointed. Those boys of mine down there and I have certainly had our hands full these past 2 years. And now, just as I am returning to Chief Kelly of Pasadena, I want to thank the men of the Southgate Police Department for their splendid cooperation during the time I worked with them. The cleanup of the city and the solution of the story you are about to hear is their work. And to them, I want to see the credit go.
Thank you, Chief Mueller. Early one Sunday evening in March last year, Marjorie Barr and Rose Hammond, two young visitors from Washington, returned to the home of a friend with whom they are staying in Southgate. Seeing the lights on in the house, they believe their hostess, Mrs. Laura Stevens, to be at home. They bid farewell to the boys with whom they have been riding and approach the house.
Sounds like Laura has company, Rose. Yeah. Look, through the window. Sailors. I don't see Laura anywhere. Maybe she's in the kitchen. The door's locked. Ring the bell.
Well, look who's here. Little Mary Sunshine. Come on in, girls. Come on in right away.
Where's Laura?
Well, she'll be here soon, I guess.
What are you boys doing here?
Waiting for Laura. Bob is a friend of hers. Aren't you, Bob? Sure. Laura's a pal of mine. Go, Laura.
Is Laura expecting you?
I don't know, but she'll be glad to see us.
Well, how'd you get in? The door was locked.
Oh, that'll be telling.
Well, you've got your nerve breaking in here when Laura isn't home.
Oh, yeah? What's it to you, babe? Who are you, anyway?
Well, Margie and I are friends of Laura's.
Okay.
We're staying here with her.
Well, that's fine. Come on in. We're all friends of Laura's. Come in and meet the boys and have a drink. Well, boys, look what I found. Now, don't rush me. Well, I don't know your names, gal, but I'm Bob. This is Bill and Pete and the snake here. Here, listen. When I know you gals better, I'll tell you why he's called Snake. And now, if I only had your name.
Well, I'm Rose. And I'm Marjorie.
Well, say, that's swell. Now we all know each other. Now, come on now, let's have a little drink. Right over this way.
I don't like the looks of this, Marjorie. Why? If you take a drink, I'll kick you around the block. Is that so? Well, it looks like a party to me, and I'm going to have a good time. All right, Smarty, but I'm just warning you. It doesn't look right to me.
Hey, come on, babe. Come on, let's drink up.
Not for me.
Are you going pure on it, huh? How about you, Marjorie?
Sure.
And the girl? That's the way I like my women. You know, you and I will get along okay.
Maybe we aren't that.
Now, come on, let's drink up. Hey, sit down there on the dance floor with me, will you? And Rose.
Yeah?
It's an oath for you lying out on the porch.
Oh, thanks. I'll go get it right away.
Hey, somebody's on the radio. What do you want to hear? Something hot. I want to burn little Marjorie up.
Yeah, what is it? Listen, Laura, she wants us to come down to 61st and Broadway where Steve works. We ain't got any way to get there. I know that. But maybe that means she won't be back until late. Well, what of it? We've got plenty of company here. Margie, I tell you, I don't like this at all. You come with me, and we'll go into the bedroom and lock the door. Why? Listen, these guys are pretty tight. And they're not going to sober the way they're putting away that rock gut. Oh, Rose. Just because you don't drink, you don't like to see anybody have any fun. I tell you, I'm afraid of these fellas if they get any drunker. Oh, don't be a still. Now, listen, you've got to come in there with me, Marjorie. Well, I won't. You may be sorry. Well, I'll worry about that.
Hey, come on, babe. I'm getting lonely over here. How's that little dance?
Come on, big boy. Margie, you're very foolish. Oh, go on to bed, you wet blanket.
Rose, genuinely frightened at the antics of the drunken sailors, locks herself in her bedroom. A half hour, an hour passes. She is unable to get to sleep. For every few moments, one of the sailors bangs upon the door and invites her to join the party. About 10:30 in the evening, there is another knock on the door.
Rose! Let me in!
Come on, you little tramp. Hey, that damn fool! You didn't have to hit her, did you? Come on, we gotta get out of here fast.
Terrified by what she has heard beyond the door, Rose jumps out of the bedroom window and runs for help to the house of a friend a block away. After calling the police, they return to the house on San Gabriel Avenue.
Well, there's nobody here. They've all gone, Mr. Thompson.
The place certainly is a mess.
Well, maybe they've taken Marjorie with them. Marjorie! Marjorie! Oh, she doesn't answer.
Door here is locked.
That's the room I was in. I locked it from the inside.
Let's try the bathroom door. It's locked, too.
Oh, she must be in there. Marjorie! Marjorie! Oh, come on, Mr. Thompson. Help me open the door.
Have you got a key?
No, she's locked it from the inside.
Well, we'll have to break it down, I guess. There we are.
Turn on the light by the wall. Marjorie! Oh, Marjorie! What's happened? Marjorie, speak to me. Oh, Mr. Thompson, she's dead.
No, she isn't. She's breathing. That's a nasty cut she's got on her head. Hold that door open for me while I carry her into the other room, and then call the police and tell them to bring a doctor.
A few moments later, Chief Mueller of the Southgate Police Department arrives, accompanied by Dr. Misner and officers Peterson and Mitchell. The doctor makes a hurried examination.
Well, Doctor, what does it look like to you?
Fracture of the skull. Yeah, it's serious. I've got to get her to a hospital.
She seems to be semi-conscious. Can I talk to her?
You'll have to be mighty careful not to excite her.
I will. But you must understand I've got to get some information from her. That other girl doesn't seem to know a thing.
Yes, I understand. Go ahead while I'm phoning for the ambulance.
Okay. Oh, Marjorie. Marjorie, how do you feel?
My head hurts.
Do you feel well enough to tell us what happened?
I'll try.
Who hit you on the head?
The blonde one. He hit me twice. He was drunk.
What was his name?
I don't know. I never saw him before tonight.
What did he hit you with?
A piece of iron with string tied to it.
Why did he hit you?
They were trying to take the clock and a cigarette lighter. And I told them to get out. And then this blonde fellow hit me. Oh, my head.
The ambulance quickly arrives, and Marjorie is removed to the general hospital. Mrs. Stevens, notified at her husband's place of business, quickly returns home. Chief Mueller questions her.
Now, Mrs. Stevens, did you leave your house in charge of any sailors?
Absolutely not. The only people who had any light in here were Marjorie and Rose.
Well, apparently they gained access through the dining room window. The screen has been pried loose. Have you any idea who could have entered your house in such a manner?
No, I haven't.
Do you or your husband know any sailors?
Why, yes, one. His name is Bob Barnett.
Oh, how well do you know him?
Well, we have mutual friends in Portland. He spent a leave with us last Christmas. But Bob's not the kind that would do this sort of thing.
What boat is this Barnett on?
The Oklahoma.
Is she in now?
I don't know. I haven't heard from Bob since last Christmas.
Let's look in the paper here. Let's see, the shipping news. Here it is. Yes, the Oklahoma is in. She sails at daybreak. Say, we've got to work fast.
Oh, I'm sure Bob wouldn't do this.
Well, you can never be sure what people will do, Mrs. Stevens. Especially when they've been drinking what was in this bottle. Have you a picture of Barnett around here?
Well, I'm not sure. Let me look in these drawers here. No, I'm afraid I haven't.
Wait a minute. What was that in that last drawer?
What?
This camera. It's got 5 exposures in it. Would any of them be a Barnett?
They might. That roll's been in the camera since the holidays.
Good. Do you mind if I take it down to headquarters and have it developed?
I know. Go right ahead.
Fine. Thank you. Now, Mrs. Stevens, Marjorie said something about these sailors wanting to take some things away with them. Have you noticed anything missing?
Well, of course I haven't had time to look around.
Do you own an electric clock?
Oh, yes, a calendar clock. It's right up. Why, it's gone. And so is my table cigarette lighter.
Yes, and the cord's been ripped out of the radio. Apparently, they intended to take that with them when they were frightened away.
I had a valuable watch in the desk here. Let me see. Why, it's gone, too.
Would you be willing to swear out a burglary warrant against the men who did this?
I certainly will.
Hello? Yes, he's here. Oh, very well. Hold the line, please. It's for you, Chief Mueller. It's the doctor.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Doctor? I see. All right, thank you. Yes, I'll be at headquarters.
What is it, Chief?
Marjorie just died. A fractured skull.
Oh, the poor child.
Mrs. Stevens and Rose accompany Chief Mueller to headquarters to await the developing of the roll of film. At 2 a.m., the pictures are finished and brought in to the chief.
Now, let's see. Yes, here's a picture of a sailor. Rose, do you recognize him?
Yes. Yes, that's one of them. He said he was a friend of Laura's.
Pass it to Mrs. Stevens, please. Thank you. Well, Mrs. Stevens?
Bob, all right. But I can't believe that he'd do it.
Well, that's not for us to decide. Captain Brett? Yes, sir. Draw up a complaint on the suspicion of murder and burglary against one Robert Barnett and 3 John Does. Yes, sir. Now, you'll sign those burglary complaints, won't you, Mrs. Stevens?
Oh, I hate to get Bob in trouble. He comes from a good family.
That may well be, Mrs. Stevens, but as I said before, it isn't for us to decide whether or not he's guilty. But if he is under the slightest suspicion, we want to bring him in and question him. If he's innocent, well, you'd like to see him clear himself as quickly as possible, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes, that's true.
Then this is the way you can help us most.
Well, all right, then. I'll sign the complaint.
That's fine. They'll be ready in just a moment. Now, Rose, can you remember the names of any of the other of those sailors?
Well, I never heard their whole names, but I heard them call each other Bill and Pete and Bob, and then there was one called Snake.
And those are the only names you heard?
Yes, sir.
Bob, Pete, Bill, and the Snake. Well, that may help us. Here's the complaint. Fine. Now, Mrs. Stevens, if you'll please sign them right here on this line. Oh, Captain Brett. Yes, sir. Get King and Smith and wait outside in the car. We're heading for the harbor.
Siren screaming, the police car roars over the deserted boulevard to Long Beach, past deserted gas stations, beneath the skeleton fingers of Signal Hill, down through the quiet residential sections of the city to a grinding stop at the water taxi dock. The officers hop aboard the squat red speedboat and cut across the smooth water of the harbor. The boat throws angry spray toward the pale equinoctial moon. The shimmering reflections of the waterfront lights, leaving the harbor like golden knives, are chopped into oblivion as the racing boat rounds the breakwater and bucks the open sea for the silent gray mass of the Oklahoma. Around the sharp prow of the mighty warship, and the police officers are warping into the landing ladders beneath the brooding guns of the sleeping sea dogs. 10 minutes later, they have explained their mission to Commander McCleary, executive officer of the ship, and he has Barnett rousted out of his hammock and brought before the officer.
Now, when he comes in, don't make any reference to the murder. I want to find out if he was up there first.
Sit down, Barnett. These gentlemen are police officers. They want to ask you a few questions.
Yes, sir. What did you do up at the Stevens house tonight, Barnett? Raise a little hell?
No, why?
We got a complaint.
Well, we just had a little party. We didn't do anything out of line.
Who do you mean, we?
Oh, Bill Kozak and a fellow by the name of Wells.
What ship are they on?
Kozak's in my division on board, and Wells is on the California.
Get Kozak up here.
Yes, sir.
Who was the fourth man?
I don't know his name.
Was the fourth man in your division?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been in that division?
Year and a half.
A year and a half with the division, and you don't know the men in it yet?
No, sir.
You're certainly trying to help us, aren't you?
Did you know that a girl was hurt at the Stevens house tonight?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, she was.
I don't know nothing about anybody being hurt.
In fact, she died a couple of hours ago. It looks like murder.
Murder?
That's right, Barnett. Now, what do you know about it?
Nothing.
That's all for the present, Commander.
Take him on deck, Quartermaster, and bring on Kozak.
Yes, sir.
Give him time. He'll feel more like coming clean after he gives us some thought. In the meantime, we'll see if this other bird will talk.
Well, you certainly picked out a nice pair to deal with, Chief. Kozak and Barnett are two of the ship's bad boys. Kozak, we understand you and some of the other boys got into trouble up in Southgate tonight. Let's hear about it.
There wasn't no trouble, sir.
Who is with you besides Barnett?
A couple other guys.
Name them.
I don't know them.
What did you do up there?
Nothing. Just had a couple of drinks, that's all.
If it was as innocent as that, why don't you name them?
I'm still under the weather, sir. I can't remember very well.
This is a serious matter, Kozak. More serious than you can imagine. Who were these other men?
Well, Harry Peterson was the only other one I knew.
Bring Peterson up here, Quartermaster.
Yes, sir.
And keep Kozak on deck under guard.
Aye, sir.
Well, it looks like we're getting someplace, Commander.
Yes, it does. 3 out of 4.
Now tell me, how can I get these men ashore to question them and get statements from them?
Well, it'll be necessary to get them bound over to you by a release from the Secretary of the War.
Any trouble in obtaining that?
None whatsoever. The Navy Department is only too glad to cooperate with the civilian peace officers in matters of this sort. Frankly, Chief, we don't want such men in our personnel. 2 or 3 men of this type aboard ship contaminate the morale of the whole force, like a bad apple in a barrel.
Well, you can rest assured that we'll do everything possible to put them away if they're guilty.
I know I can depend on that, Chief.
Now, this Wells Barnett referred to aboard the California. Will I have time to question him this morning?
I'm afraid not, Chief. You see, we sail for our maneuvers at dawn.
That's too bad. When will you return?
Thursday.
Of course, there's a chance that Barnett is covering up a shipmate. Possibly our fourth man is aboard the Oklahoma.
Yes, that might be.
Here's Peterson, sir.
What did you do up in Southgate tonight, Peterson?
I beg pardon, sir?
With Kozak and Barnett.
I wasn't with them, sir.
Sure about that?
Yes, sir. I turned it at lights out. I haven't seen Kozak or Barnett all day.
If you're lying, I'll find out about it quick enough.
Oh, no, sir. I'm not lying. I swear to God I'm not.
Very well. Take him out, Quartermaster, and hold him with the others.
Yes, sir. Come along there.
Well, Chief, does he answer any description you have?
Of course, my descriptions are so meager. But the victim told me that the man who struck her was a blonde. And this boy's a blonde. That isn't much to go on, of course, but...
Beg pardon, sir.
What is it?
The mastered arms just turned these in.
What is all this?
Well, this thing that looks like a street lamp is a cigarette lighter.
Say, that matches the description of the one Mrs. Stevens found missing.
And this billy club...
Here, let me have that.
Yes, sir.
A piece of lead with a string tied to it. That's the way the victim described it.
Where did you find these?
On top of Kozak's locker,
We're
sir.
getting hot, Commander.
And this tea coat was found in Peterson's locker with a Liberty packet in it.
A Liberty check. He said he turned in his hat.
The pack is signed by you, sir.
Let me see it. But that's not my handwriting. Forging a Liberty check. Well, Liberty check. Well, if this doesn't turn out to be your man, you'll face a nice penalty for this job.
It looks more and more like he's mine, Commander.
Quartermaster, place these 3 men in the brig at once.
Yes, sir.
No, Commander, none of these men fit the description I have for the force. And this description is the most complete of the bunch.
What is it?
Well, he's short, dark-haired, heavy-set, with a scar on the left cheek. And he wears a white wheel on his sleeve.
That would be quartermaster or machinist mate. I'll keep my eyes open for him, Chief, while we're at sea.
And when you drop anchor Thursday, I intend to have an order for their release from the Secretary of the Navy.
And I'll be glad to get rid of them.
We experienced no difficulty in getting the release of the men from the Secretary of the Navy. And thanks to some expert sleuthing on the part of Commander McCleary aboard the Oklahoma while she was at battle practice, our fourth man was discovered in the same section with the others. He, Covington, Barnett, Peterson, and Kozak were delivered to us by the naval authorities on March 10th. During the questioning that same day, they admitted their presence in the Stevens home, and Peterson practically admitted striking the fatal blow. The coroner's jury on March 13th indicted all 4 men for murder. They were speedily brought to trial and speedily convicted. Peterson was sent to San Quentin for from 5 years to life on verdicts of murder and first-degree robbery. Covington and Kozak drew 5 years to life on first-degree robbery, and Barnett 1 to 14 years for second-degree robbery. Thus was successfully closed the first murder ever committed in Southgate.
And you're to be congratulated, Chief Mueller. Congratulated, Chief Mueller, for the splendid manner in which you brought it to a speedy conclusion. You have listened to a true story of how police officers do their work. Unfortunately, many of our citizens do not realize the disadvantage in which an officer is placed when investigating a crime, and do not always give him the assistance that they are capable of giving. If they could realize that an officer was doing everything possible to protect their lives and property and would support him in his efforts, it would help to show the lawbreaker that Los Angeles and surrounding cities are good places for them to stay away from. Thank you, Chief Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rio Grande Oil Company is proud and happy to make a most important announcement tonight. Here it is. Again, the city of Los Angeles has chosen Rio Grande cracked gasoline with tetraethyl for the important job of fueling all police cars, fire engines, ambulances, motorcycles, and other emergency equipment. The Rio Grande Oil Company is appreciative of this great trust and is proud of the very small part that Rio Grande cracked will again play in the daily protection of your life,
and your profit.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars. Cancellation of broadcast 23 regarding a disturbance. Suspects have been apprehended. That's all. Rose and Cliff.
Tonight you have heard Miss Ann Sawyer as Marjorie, Miss Clarinita Burt as Rose, Miss Martha Wentworth as Mrs. Stevens, Miss Clarinita Burt as Rose, Miss Martha Wentworth as Mrs. Stevens, Mr. Hamley Stafford as Barnett, Mr. Samuel Pierce as Peterson, Mr. Clou Boardman as Kozak, Mr. Richard DeGrand as Mr. Thompson, Mr. Robert Frazier as Chief Mueller, Mr. Wade Lane as Commander McCreary, and Mr. Charlie Long as Covington, Captain Vett, and the Quartermaster. This is Frederick Lindsley saying good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, broadcast 24. Lieutenant Fitzgerald had just been murdered by unknown assailants. That's all. Rose and Cliff.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you read your newspapers carefully, last week you saw an article with this caption: Award made on gasoline. Total of 1,430,000 gallons to be provided to Los Angeles during fiscal period. Los Angeles is but one of many great cities and counties in Southern California and Arizona where Rio Grande cracked gasoline is the official motor fuel. In these places, the police cars, fire engines, and other emergency equipment devoted to the protection of your life and property are powered with Rio Grande crack. If you are a motorist, this article should convey something of real importance to you, because you, too, can get this police performance for your car. The crack used by these cities and counties is the same identical gasoline you can buy at any Rio Grande service station at no extra cost. At this time, we are pleased to present Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department. Chief Davis.
Good evening, friends. Every so often, too often, for the peace of our citizens and the dignity and respect due its peacetime army, an enemy of society kills a policeman and gets away with it, but does not escape his punishment forever. In the Canadian Northwest, the mounted police have built up a reputation respected throughout the world for always getting their man. This is true of practically every police department in the United States. For although we do not have one concentrated force which is given credit for its unfailing efficiency, there is a code among policemen made necessary by the attacks upon them by uninformed citizens and the underworld, which makes them act as one across the face of the earth to track down and bring to justice the killer of a policeman. I have chosen tonight to bring you the story of little Phil Alquin, who murdered a policeman in cold blood and thought he could get away with it. The Sure Police Department relentlessly sought him out, reached out across what was then the border of an unfriendly country, and through a series of fascinating yet discouraging escapades, finally brought him back. Perhaps few cases in the annals of the police department reveal as clearly as does this one the problems which daily face the police department. Professor Lindsley will now go on with the story.
On June 18, 1921, Detectives Fitzgerald and O'Brien make a raid on the house of a man named Farley and round up 7 characters wanted on charges ranging from possession of narcotics to grand larceny. During the raid, they also confiscate numerous bottles of dope. After booking the prisoners, the detectives, accompanied by Eddie Dalton, special agent for a downtown bank, return to the Farley home to make a search for further evidence.
Well, right, Tom. I guess Mrs. Farley hasn't skipped out. You know, Tom, I think you should have taken her in, too. Oh, she's all right. She isn't mixed up in any of this. Well, you can't be sure.
Oh, it's a nice trick indeed. Look at locking up a woman with a small child.
Well, of course, I don't want to be inhuman, Fitz, but it's see. Oh, good evening, Mrs. Farley. We've come back.
Where's my husband? Is he all right? Is he safe?
He's safe enough, Mrs. Farley. He's not going to get away from the place he is now.
We want to look around a little bit more, ma'am. May we come in?
Well, I don't know. That is...
There's somebody in there.
No, I'm all
Stand aside,
alone.
Mrs. Farley. We're coming in.
You can't.
Oh, look there. No, you don't. Stop where you are, or I'll let you have it.
What does it matter? I'm in such a hurry to get away.
You want to talk to you?
Who are you?
You know who we are. Police officers.
What's your name?
We don't Charlie.
You're lying. It's Medrano. This is another bird we've been looking for some time, Eddie. You guys aren't doing bad today.
No. Sometimes we have lucky days, and this is one of them. You're under arrest, Medrano.
Yeah, but what for? I have done nothing.
You've done enough for our purposes.
But you cannot do this.
Sit down, Medrano. Take it easy.
But
Sit down. Keep an eye on him, Eddie.
Okay.
Come on, Tom. Let's look in this cabinet here. Maybe we can find some more junk.
Okay. Well, there's nothing on these shelves.
Look up there on that top shelf.
I can't reach it.
Wait a minute. Stand on this drawer.
There, that's more like it.
Find anything?
Yeah. Say, here's a couple of bottles of... I'd better get to that door before Mrs. Farley gets...
Stay where you are. I'll answer.
Speedy, look out! Shut up, you.
Hey, what's he hollering about?
I don't know.
Keep him quiet till I find out who this is.
What's the matter, Eddie? Fitz answered the door. There was a shot and he ran outside. Well, come on.
Somebody over there with the steps next door.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's Fitz. What's the matter, Fitz? He's out of the cab. Oh. Call an ambulance quick, Eddie. He's hurt bad. Fitzgerald is rushed to the hospital and submitted to an emergency operation for the removal of the bandit's bullets from his liver. But he never rallied. And in a few hours, he is dead. Outraged by the death of their comrade in arms, Tom O'Brien and Chief of Police Louis Oak questioned the suspects taken in the raid earlier in the day. They deny any knowledge of the identity of Fitzgerald's slayer. The officers are despairing as the last of the suspects shows no sign of breaking. Come on now, Taylor. You know who did this job.
I don't know a thing.
Well, we'll question you until you drop. We'll never give you any rest.
It won't do you no good. How do I know who croaked the ditch?
Might have been anybody. Yes, it might, but it wasn't. You know who did it. At least you've got a mighty good suspicion.
Even if I have, I wouldn't tell you guys.
Now, listen, Taylor. This isn't going to do you any harm to help us. One of our best friends has just been killed, and we intend to find out who did it.
It ain't none of my affair.
Yeah, but we've got to get a lead. Now, you're not putting yourself on the spot if you give us a hunch. Tell us something, anything.
Well, I think maybe the guy you want is out on parole.
Out on parole? What else?
Listen, that's all you're going to get out of me.
Thanks, Taylor. That's all we need. Tom, get Langham, the state patrol officer down here. Put Langham, the state patrol officer down here. But it's 2 a.m., Officer Chief. I don't care what time it is. Get him out of bed. And get him down here as soon as possible. Routed out of bed, the state parole officer rushes to the chief's office, bringing with him a mug book containing pictures of all parole prisoners. Chief Oak
called Medrano into his office, and placing the mug book on his lap, turned it slowly, page by page, as a circle of hawk-eyed detectives watched the criminal's face for the slightest change of expression.
Now look carefully, Medrano. Is this the man that shot Fitzgerald?
No.
Is this him? Is this him?
No.
How about this one?
Caramba, let up on me. I don't know who did it.
Is this the man who shot Fitzgerald?
No.
Is this the man who shot Fitzgerald?
No.
Is this the guy?
No. I tell you, I don't know who did it.
Okay, Medrano. Take him back to the cell, Sergeant.
Yes, sir. Come on, Medrano. Come on, Medrano.
Did you see him jump when I showed him that picture?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Chief. He gave himself away.
Okay. Here's him, man. Let's see. Phil Alquin. Alias Little Phil, alias Arizona Phil.
Phil. Say, he yelled something like that just before Fitz opened the door, like he wanted to warn the guy. He said, feeling.
Yeah, this is the guy, all right. And say, get this. He has an insignia Arizona Phil tattooed on his left arm. Boys, I'm going to track down this man if it takes me the rest of my life.
Chief Oak proceeds to make good his oath. His work comprises one of the most fascinating stories in the records of police manhunt. He travels over 9,000 miles. A dragnet is thrown around Little Phil's hangout. His picture is broadsided all over the city and to every police department in the United States. But Little Phil disappears, leaving behind him but one sign, characteristic of the braggadocio of the diminutive Mexican killer. The Mexican killer.
You want to see me, Chief?
Yeah. Anything new on Little Hill?
No. I've got all the men I can working on him, but he seems to have disappeared into thin air.
I just got a note from him.
You did?
Yeah. Listen to this. I'm telling you the truth. That I shot Detective Fitzgerald. But don't hunt me anymore because my life is worthless. If you keep on hunting me, I'll kill all the officers and I'll be gone. I'm hiding somewhere in town, but you'd never find me. If you do find my hiding place, your men would be killed at once for my pals. And it's signed, Little Phil.
Oh, that's just a nut letter.
No, it isn't, Tom. I checked the handwriting. Little Phil, all right.
He's got a lot of nerve asking us to come and get him.
And that's just what we're going to do.
But Chief Oak's emphatic prophecy does not come true. And although police vigilance never relaxes, months drag on, and no trace of Little Phil Alquin is discovered. And then one day, outside the main ring of a circus playing in a small town in Idaho, two clowns are arguing just before they go on with their act.
Now listen, Dallas. If you drink me up again on the run-in, you'll get what's coming to you.
What's eating you, Pedro? Just a laugh, doesn't it?
I'm not saying any more. I warned you.
Pipe down. Here we go.
Okay, Dallas, you asked for it. You'll never sleep when you want else.
One of the funniest clown acts I ever saw.
That guy, they sure are a vow. Look at that big fight they're putting up. Come on, keep out of this. I'm going to settle this dirt. Come on, let go that knife and get up on your feet. Cut it out, you big flatfoot. You're tearing my sleeve off. I'll tear your arm off if you don't stop this fighting. What's this? A tattoo mark. Arizona Phil. Hey, let go of me. You'll never get me. None of you fools, please. Stop that man. Stop that fellow. He's running for murder.
Uncle Phil vanishes from sight. In the fall of 1922, more than a year after the murder of Detective Fitzgerald, three shadowy figures wade across the Rio Grande River 2 miles south of El Paso. Silently, they slink behind the kills of the El Paso brickyard and crouch near the paymaster's office. Then, as the sound of an automobile is heard, they stiffen with suppressed excitement.
Here he comes now. You cover the driver, Jose. You hammer the nails into his tires, Manuel. And I will get the money out of the back of the car. You all set?
Bueno, compadre.
Okay. Get out there on the road. Keep him out.
What is it?
Shut up. You want to keep your health.
Here goes the first one, amigo.
Bueno. These damn doors stuck. There we are. You are thoughtful, my friend. I see you have brought all the money, huh?
You can't do this.
Shut up. We're doing it, ain't we? It's good enough. We can't get far with the 2 flat tires. Come on, amigos. Adios, senor.
But this time, the wily Phil was so careless as to leave a fingerprint on the door of the automobile. El Paso police identified the robber as little Phil Alquin and informed Chief Oakes of his suspected whereabouts in Juarez. The chief leaves immediately for El Paso after instructing the Texan police to place Mexican detectives on the killer's trail. Upon Chief Oakes' arrival in El Paso, it is decided to have Alquin arrested by the Mexican police and turned over to the American officers on the International Bridge. Chief Oakes accompanies the Mexican detective to a cantina frequented by Alquin to witness the arrest.
Alquin, you are under arrest. What for? Vagrancy. Vagrancy? That's a good one. You think I'm not? What's the gringo with you?
That is of no matter. Will you come peaceably or will I have to handcuff you?
Oh, I'll come peaceably. Let's go. Now, what's the idea of the car? We can walk to the jail.
I prefer that we ride.
Okay, pal. Your gringo friend riding with you?
Seguro?
I thought so. Well, let's go. You don't think you'll get me across the bridge, do you?
I do not know what you are talking about.
Yeah, of course you don't. Well, it looks like this is the end of the ride.
What do you mean?
What is the matter? Where are you taking this man? He is under arrest. But the jail is that way, not the way you are going.
Man is my prisoner, Captain. He's wanted in Los Angeles for murder. I intend to take him back there.
I regret very much, senor, but you cannot do that. This man is a Mexican citizen. You cannot take him out of the country without the proper papers from your government in Washington.
But the American government doesn't recognize the present government in Mexico. I couldn't get extradition papers.
That, senor, is not my problem. It is yours. Come on, Felipe. You are not under the arrest. What did I tell you guys? You can't touch me.
Undiscouraged by this unexpected turn of events, Chief Oakes spends weeks tracing Phil Alquin's birthplace. At last, he establishes it as Moronci, Arizona, and obtains copies of the killer's birth certificate. Now he must attempt to get Alquin deported from Mexico as an undesirable alien. But obstacle after obstacle is encountered at every turn. Finally, Chief Oakes calls in Sam Drebin, World War hero and famous soldier of fortune, the one man in El Paso who knows the border best.
Well, Louis, the way I see it, your problem is to get Phil across the river.
Yeah, and what a problem.
Well, there's some way to pull it.
I can't get any cooperation from the officials on the other side.
You never can. They don't know who their boss is from one day to the next, the way the government changes. But there must be a way. Now, let me think. I got it.
What is it?
The Did you know that Phil was over on this side some time ago and tried to get Doc Isaacs to remove a tattoo mark from his arm?
No.
And it's a fact. The Doc said he'd get cold feet when it came to a showdown and refused to do the job. Now, there's your angle.
How do you mean?
Well, Phil seems mighty anxious to get that tattoo off his arm.
Well, I should think he was. That's the best identification mark he has.
Okay. Let's set up a tattoo-removing business in Warren.
Hey, what the devil are you talking about?
It's simple. Now, I've got a pal in town that looks like a doctor. His name's Kelly, and he's really one of the toughest fighting Irishmen you'd want to meet up with. Now, we'll send Kelly over to the other side with some tools to set up a business as a tattoo remover. And then we'll get word roundabout to Phil that Kelly's just the man to take off that mark. And when he's got a little dope shot into him, supposedly to ease the pain, it'll be a cinch to get him in a car and across the bridge.
Well, it's worth a try. I'm going to take that little monkey back to Los Angeles with me, and I don't care much how I do it.
The trap is laid, and little Phil falls for the bait. He instructs Dr. Kelly to come to his room to remove the tattoo. When Kelly enters the building, Drebin, Chief Oak, and the El Paso Chief Detective, Claude Smith, are awaiting outside for Kelly's signal to come and get the killer. But Kelly, when he enters Phil's room, encounters unforeseen difficulties in the person of Phil's dusty-eyed sweetheart, Carmen Peter.
Hello, Doc. All set for the operation?
Yep, I've got all the stuff right here.
Meet Carmen Peter, Doc. My little ball of fire.
Charmed, Senorita.
Thank you, Senor Doctor. I am happy to meet you.
Now, Phil, if the young lady will pardon us, we can get started.
What do you mean?
You must wait outside until I'm through.
Oh, no, it is impossible. I must be with my little silly when you have his tattoo taken off.
I can't work with anyone present.
Oh, but Senor, with little Carmen Peter here, you should work better, no?
Ah, let us stay, Doc. What's the odds?
Well, I'm afraid I can't do a good job with anybody here.
Ah, it's okay.
All right, if you say so. It's going to hurt you, Phil.
I don't mind.
You don't know. It'll be necessary to remove several layers of the epidermis.
Well, I don't care what you remove, Doc, so long as you take that damn mark off of me.
I think I'd better give you a local anesthetic so it won't hurt so much.
Okay, just as you say, Doc.
I have it right here. Now, all you'll feel is the jab of the needle. Oh, you don't feel anything as the Novocaine goes in, do you?
No. Feels okay now, Doc.
Senorita, what's the matter with you?
Nothing is the matter with me.
Well, look at you. You're pale and your eyes are feverish.
I feel nothing.
Perhaps watching the injection has made you faint.
Why, no, why...
Be careful. You're unsteady on your feet.
But, Doctor...
Sit down here. Yes, I know all the symptoms. You're really ill.
Well, I was all right a minute ago.
But you're not now.
Well, no, I guess I do feel a little dizzy.
Here, take this glass of medicine. That'll make you feel better.
Doctor. Oh, it's bitter.
But it will do you good.
Oh, that horrible stuff. I'm going to...
You better go outside, Senorita. Hurry, the back way. Well, that's that. Give you plenty sick, but it won't hurt her any. How about it, Phil? Can you hear me?
Oh.
Morphine's doing his stuff all right. Now to get him out of here. Okay, boys. I've given him all the dope I dare to. He's groggy, but he isn't out yet.
All right, we'll take him this way. Come on, Louis. You grab his feet.
Okay. What you hit on that doorway, will it?
Yeah, now easy does it. Now get him into the car, quick.
Look out, he's coming too.
Kelly. Muffle him. He's coming out of it.
Lady amigos, the gringos are kidnapping me. They will kill me.
Get him into the car. Get him into the car. Dump him in anyway.
That driver's seat, Harvey.
Get going, boys.
Evans, Smith, and Harvey, the driver, are intercepted by the border guards, and the 3 Americans, menaced by a mob eager to lynch them, are housed in the Juarez jail, while little Phil, with a bullet scratch in his temple, is taken to the hospital. Chief Oak, left behind by the others in the excitement of the getaway, makes his escape through back streets toward the border. An obliging American drives him across the bridge, and under cover of darkness, the guards miss the suspicious appearance of his blood and mud-stained clothing. From his hospital cot, little Phil again boasts, this time to a newspaper reporter.
I'm too smart for these cheap cops. I beat them twice. I can do it again. But say, Bobby, this hounding gets on that guy's nerves. He ain't any way for a smart crook like me to leave. I wasn't born a crook. The police made me one. But I got more respect for those Los Angeles flat feet than for these feet you El Paso people put badges on. Listen, I know every one of them, and I'm through kidding with them. The next time they try to get me, I am going to be ready for them. I'm going to have half a dozen dead bulls if they come after me again. At first, I pumped off this general up in law. What's a couple of bulls, more or less? I'll bump off every bull that gets in my way from now on.
As the little Phil Alquin case takes on the importance of an international incident, no less a dignitary than the governor of Chihuahua travels north in a private plane to take over the investigation of the case. Chief Oakes is awaiting him at the hotel in El Paso when a Mexican druggist asks to see him.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I am Tomas. I am Boticario. A drug.
Yeah?
See, I have here a prescription for a patient at the Libertad Hospital in Juarez. His name is Alguin. Felipe Alguin. You know him, no?
Yeah, I know him.
Oh, he is no good, this Alguin. Look, I have here a great power in this prescription. Senor, if you say the word, I shall make this prescription like it should be.
What do you mean?
I mean I will put poison into this prescription. This malombre Alguin will die. No one shall know.
No, thanks too much. I've had offers like that before, but I'd rather take him back alive.
But, senor, is the easy way to settle the whole thing. One little pinch of the right powder and pour. He's out of the way forever.
Very kind of you, Tomas. I want to help, but I'm afraid I can't accept your offer.
Very well, senor, but I think you make a big mistake. This Alguin should be killed quick and good.
The governor of Chihuahua to see you, senor.
Show him in, please.
Si, senor.
Now, you'll pardon me, Tomas, but I have a very important interview.
Duro, senor. But if you ever want my assistance, Sally, I shall be glad to.
All right, Tomas. If I need you, I'll call you.
Adios, senor. Adios.
Adios, Tomas. Come in, Governor. Come in.
Buenos dias, senor.
Good day. May I introduce myself, Governor? I'm Lou Yokes of the Los Angeles Police Department.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Well, thank you. You were very kind to come see me.
Not at all, senor. I have heard much of the fine police work you and your department perform.
Well, it's good of you to say so, Governor, but let's get down to business.
As you say, senor?
Governor, I want you to deport Philip Alquin. I want him for murder.
Yes, I understand that, senor. But as he is a Mexican citizen, and your country unhappily does not recognize mine, I do not see...
I've heard that explanation before, Governor, but it isn't so. Alquin is an American citizen.
It has never been proved, senor.
Here's the proof. Here's his birth certificate. Born in Arizona. Look yourself.
It does seem to be so.
It is so, Governor. And now, since he's a known and confessed murderer, an American citizen, it follows that he's an undesirable alien in your country.
There is something in what you say.
And being an undesirable alien, he should be deported. You place him across the international bridge, and my men will be there to arrest him.
That seems to be perfectly regular.
Then you will do it?
Si, senor.
When?
I will deliver him into your hands tomorrow morning.
at 9 o'clock. But at 8:30 the following morning, the governor of Chihuahua left Juarez for Chihuahua City with Phil Alquin and placed him in the penitentiary there, hoping to win the reward for himself. Great pressure was brought to bear through interested Los Angeles newspapers on President Obregon of Mexico. And finally, on February 7th, 1923, almost 2 years after he had murdered Fitzgerald, Alquin was landed from an oil tanker at Freeport, Texas, arrested by Chief Louis Oakes, and rapidly returned to Los Angeles to face the bar of justice. He pled guilty to his crime, and in consideration for this plea, was sentenced to San Quentin for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you are buying a new car, you don't just take the word of the advertisement, do you? Of course not. In fact, you insist on taking rides in the various cars. You are not satisfied with claims alone. You want absolute proof. Why not decide on your brand of gasoline in this same manner? Let proof and not mere claims decide for you. All advertising for Rio Grande Cracked with tetraethyl is based on proved facts, not high-sounding and confusing claims. Rio Grande Cracked has just recently started its second consecutive year as the official fuel of Los Angeles. It has come through nobly in the grueling test of thousands upon thousands of miles in police cars, ambulances, fire engines, and other emergency equipment. Before you purchase your next tank full of gasoline, consider this statement a fact. More police cars, fire engines, ambulances, motorcycles, and other emergency equipment in Southern California and Arizona are powered with Rio Grande Cracked than all other brands combined. And for finer lubrication, try famous Sinclair Opaline motor oil. Sinclair Opaline has several advantages. It is extra refined, giving longer life. It is sold in extra major tamper-proof cans. And Sinclair Opaline costs you no more than ordinary bulk oil.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, cancellation broadcast 24. The murder of Lieutenant Fitzgerald is now in custody. That's all.
This is Frederick Lindsley saying good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company.